If you want to know how to lose weight for accomplished women over 60 that are tired of feeling obsessed with food, you're in the right place. I'm Cassie Christopher. I'm a registered dietitian and emotional eating expert, and I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 steps you need to take for weight loss over 60. So let's get into it. Step number 1, you want to heal your food obsession. So if you are feeling like you're spending all of your mental energy either thinking about food, your body, or your weight, you're going to need to deal with that, which I don't think is your fault. More info on that in a moment, before you can make the consistent choices that are going to lead to weight loss and weight management. And we'll talk about those words in a moment as well. So healing your food obsession, we have to understand where that obsession comes from. It comes from years, decades even, of all or nothing dieting. These are these diets, these food trends that tell us we either need to follow them perfectly, or what's the point? Why even try, right? You either have to follow the plan or you're off the plan. And there's some, good reason we feel this way. Something like keto, if you eat too many carbs, you legitimately get out of ketosis, right? So this all or nothing dieting has disconnected us from our body and from our emotions, leaving us feeling like we can't trust ourselves anymore around food. On the one hand, it's because all of this restriction is causing these stress hormones to run rampant in our body, making us have strong urges to eat, strong desires to eat when we are restricted or deprived. Some people call this forbidden food syndrome. All or nothing dieting also disconnects us from our body and stops us from trusting ourselves because we start to rely on food for caring for our emotional needs. Whether we realize food is better than Xanax and we're comfort eating, or we're using food to zone out and we're not even really aware of the feelings that food is protecting us from because it works so well, that is the result of this all or nothing dieting that causes you to obsess about food. So the solution to heal this food obsession is actually to cultivate the courage to trust. And this is the courage to trust that food isn't the problem and neither are you, to trust that you can hear and respond to the cues that your body is giving you instead of eating to numb or restricting for control. And it's the courage to trust that you can mindfully indulge and consistently make nourishing choices, that you're worthy of care and love just as you are, even while you pursue weight loss. And when you cultivate this courage to trust, as defined by those 4 points I shared with you in your life, you heal from that all or nothing dieting and you're able to make these consistently healthy choices. Now, I'll put a pin in this before we get to step 2, because I want to invite everyone to come to my free live training, How to Stop Obsessing About Food and Make Consistently Healthy Choices. If you're realizing that you need to cultivate the courage to trust in your life before you can even move on and deal with weight loss. And you can get the link to do that in the description. All right, step 2. So we've healed our food obsession and now we're moving on to changing the way that you think about weight from weight loss to weight management. Here's what I mean by this. Weight loss is, you change something in the short term, you lose a lot of weight, and then you go back to the way things were, and you inevitably gain all the weight back. And it's not your fault, right? This is the way things have been presented to you. Oftentimes, the things you had to do to get the weight loss maybe were just not sustainable for the long term. You couldn't keep doing them. And also, your body conspires against you in some ways, that your metabolism decreases when you lose weight, and so that makes it harder to maintain weight. So weight management is different. This is recognizing that if you want to lose weight and keep it off, you will be in some continual process of either losing weight, monitoring your weight to maintain that weight loss, or periods of regain. And here's what I like about weight management as a weight management registered dietitian. I like that weight management helps normalize this regain, and it helps normalize that you may have to find a way to peacefully think about your weight in order to keep the weight off. Now, if you're someone who's done a lot of the all or nothing dieting, you might, honest to God, have trauma and PTSD-like symptoms around the scale and tracking and some of these ways that we monitor. So again, that's why you have to heal that relationship with food and honestly yourself that's been damaged by all or nothing dieting before you can move on to successfully do this weight management process. And then step 3, once you have healed the food obsession, you have healed or thought about weight management differently than before, now it's time to experiment with weight management strategies. And there's a couple things that women over 60 in particular need to think about. One of them is not eating too little food. You cannot get your nutrient needs met below about 1,200 calories a day. So if you're eating significantly less than that, then you may be at risk for some nutritional deficiencies. And in the 60andMe article that I will link to in the description, I talk specifically about calcium, vitamin B12, iron, but these are things that you want to be thinking about. If you're not sure what nutrient needs you might be at risk of and you want some personalized help to figure out a plan so that you can feel good in your body and lose some weight, you're welcome to reach out to me. You can click the link in the description to do that or work with another registered dietitian. The second piece here to experimenting with weight management strategies is to focus on protein to avoid sarcopenia. So I was really surprised when I asked a group of my clients recently who are all women over 50 if they'd heard of sarcopenia, and 1 out of 5 of them had. And so sarcopenia is an age-related muscle decline that affects anywhere from 10 to 20% of women over 60 worldwide. And it is related to decreased quality of life, an increased risk of disability, and increased risk of death, which is always a really creepy statistic. But here's the thing to know about sarcopenia. You can prevent it, and even if you have it, there's a lot of things that you can do to improve your quality of life and maybe even reverse it. So moving your body, of course, is going to strengthen your muscles, but when it comes to weight loss, I want you to be thinking about protein. I want you to be thinking about fruits, vegetables, whole grains, plant proteins. That Mediterranean style diet pattern has been shown to decrease your risk of sarcopenia. And then lastly, when you're experimenting with weight management, it's important to realize that, there's no one size fits all. You need to find a way of eating, a lifestyle that is going to work for you for more or less the rest of your life. And so when you are experimenting, I just want to remind you that at any time you can decide to stop focusing on weight if that's the best focus for you. That you can focus on maybe specific behaviors to help lower your blood pressure, stress management and specific things you can eat and moving your body, right? Like, it's not all about weight when it comes to health and some of your other goals. And again, this is where working with a registered dietitian can help you figure out what the best focus is for you if you just choose to opt out and not focus on that number on the scale. So again, if you would like to learn how to manage your weight without constantly thinking about your body and food, because I know it gets tiring, I've been there myself, then please sign up for my free live masterclass. It's called How to Stop Obsessing About Food and Make Consistently Healthy Choices. All right, have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.